Logo is actually one solid piece, but that doesn't necessarily mean that because it all was shipped in one solid piece. So what you would actually do is come and check the corners where the green interacts with the white, and you don't have to give it a solid wrench. It just has to be a nice solid pull to make sure that the tough bind is still there. If you see a little bit of an edge come up, note it. I would always recommend keeping a maintenance manual as well, or a logbook, if you will. Hey, Joe on this date at this time, and what he did, whether it was a visual inspection, whether he used a leaf blower, whatever the case is, so you can begin to see patterns within the actual maintenance itself. So again, when we talked about, going out and visually inspecting, it's just walking around, checking each area. It doesn't have to be every single point, but the points where you have multiple colors meeting will be the areas that you're going to want to look for. Tucson Turf did a great job of making sure that the proper infill level was met, and this looks great. So then what you do is you move on to the next one. Maybe you walk the lines one day. Maybe you go on to just walk the numbers, for an hour. It's all just about proactively maintaining, eyes and ears on the ground as far as what's going on with the field itself. And again, once you actually do begin to see wear patterns in the turf, let's say it's predominantly used for flag football. So you're going to see most of your wear patterns happen between the two flag football sidelines. They use it for soccer, then obviously, but you're going to see the majority of the use happening predominantly around the middle of the field. If we were on a traditional sports field or a traditional football field with all the markings, you'd see it between the two middle hash marks. Other than that, it's going to be predominantly just, you will, as I was saying as we walked over here, an investment in a pull behind drag broom, something that can hook up to a gator, may be a worthwhile investment because it does help with removing wear patterns in the turf. So what you do is just like a closing loop. So say one day we started right at the 10-yard line and we went left to right. Well, then the next time, so you do what's called a closing loop. So if we started, let's say this was the actual field itself. You start on this line and you come back this line and you go out, for your next pass, and it's just a continuous closing loop. And what that does is if you have fibers that are laying one direction versus the other, it helps rejuvenate those and bring those back upright, and it'll also help with evenly distributing the infill itself. Other than that, that is predominantly the nuts and bolts of your maintenance practice. I think now would be an appropriate time to kind of open up the Q&A session. If anybody has questions about the products, maintenance practices, whatever, I'd be more than happy to address those now with you.